we have a savior complex, right? And I want to give you a context, right? You mentioned an example earlier on about you're there with your parents leave you, and then you're there with your brother and your sister, whatever, and then they come home and like they're doing this, and they're like, no, you're being dramatic, whatever.
Yeah.
So do you not think that there is a world where us as the kids come together, unite, right, and not be so dependent on our parents because they failed us and they will continue to fail us? So it's there's no point in relying them to come save us, right? And then we, as the citizens, collectively unite and come up with solutions. So, for example, start our own banks, start our own schools, start our own things without even depending on them, because they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do, regardless of what we say and what. Yeah, I don't. Do you think there's a world like that?
Africa.
Then I think the world is like that. I think there is a world like that. I think this is the beginning of that. You know, it may not be deep rooted in terms of us, you know, starting our banks, you know, but I think we are very much capable. We do stokvels, which make millions, you know, or make up millions, you know. By the end of the year, obviously we withdraw, but we are capable of raising $1 million, you know. Not even in a year, we can do that in a month if we wanted to, you know. But then it's a thing of, do we actually want to do that? Is it necessary, you know? That might be the question. But in terms of such issues such as March on March and all of that, I think they are, or it has actually became to that particular resolution whereby now we say, okay, the police, obviously they won't do their job. They have criminals to catch, you know, and obviously they catch the criminals, they put them back into the streets because they have prepped them. Look, let's take this into our own hands. Do not arrest these particular people. They must leave. Yeah, we don't want them arrested, but then we want them out of the country. And that is, I think, where we have. But then let us listen to what Mcebo Dlamini has to say in terms of responding to the question by Macg.
Of the Afro Forum, for example, the chiefs of deputies of whatever, I forgot their name, you know.
Yeah.
And we've got the numbers, but we don't have such.
You see, the ANC government, the black government, the ANC, has made a lot of useless billionaires. That's the starting point. The ANC has made a lot of useless billionaires. Now, why am I saying that? We have failed to build our own institutions. We have failed to build anything 30 years down the line. There's nothing. Till today, we are fighting to take our children to the white schools. Because we have failed to build or empower and improve our own institutions. It takes us back to the former Bantu universities, the black universities, Teflo, Univer, Fort Hare. These universities under the apartheid government were the best, but it has collapsed under the black government. Because we have failed to empower. What have stopped Univen to be given and to be funded and supported to be at the same level as Wits University?
And there's no stopping it, if you think about it. If they actually wanted it to be the best university, you know, there are processes. This thing is a system. You know, Wits is not some different type of a university that is run maybe on a superpower. No. You know, it's an ordinary university, but the systems in place there make it the best. And I think that can also be done with any type of university if push came to shove.
What stops University of Limpopo to have been funded, infrastructure, everything, research, everything intentionally, and put it in the same level as University of Pretoria? What stopped Fort Hare to have been supported and improved to be at the same level as Rhodes? Why? But it has collapsed from where it was before 94 to be a shadow of its former self. When you go to Fort Hare, you will be in class in a university. There is a cow looking at you in the window. At university, you will be walking to lectures, you are walking on top of a cow dung, or there's a goat in the lecture room. That's how divorced with reality with these people that we call our parents. But because
Yeah, it's a very big issue. Like I said, this thing is systems, you know. The government obviously will put money where they've always been putting money, even before, you know, this particular black government. That's the unfortunate part, is that this particular government didn't really change much for black people. You know, we are still getting RDPs, we're still getting this, still getting grants. But then when you look at it, they're still doing what the apartheid government was doing, which is funding the top things that are, you know, precious to them or to white people, and really neglecting the ones that cater for black people. You know, go to roads in suburbs. Remember, the roads in suburbs are still under municipality, right? They're under municipality. Therefore, whatever is done in the suburbs should be done in the township, because we also have a municipality. But because funding should just go to the affluent ones and not to, you know, the ordinary South Africans, that's where the problem is, basically, from my opinion.
We have failed to build our own institutions. How are we going to build our own institutions when we can't preserve what you have, the little that you have? You can't say you will buy a house in Sentin when you can't take care of your mother's house in Vosloorus. You see, so what I'm saying now.
So you're saying the billionaires are not conscious?
They're not. That's the problem. They're not. So it's money that has been fallen into people that are supposed to be, you know, machine operators at Unilever, but they're billionaires. You realize that this guy is supposed to be a machine operator there at Unilever, doesn't deserve money. That's why you see them in taverns with money piles dancing, like that clown that was arrested there, that Bafana fellow, that short one, dancing there with piles of money. Like, this is a fool. That's the image of black people that they portray to us. We have failed. If you can ask him, what do you have? What do you have? Nothing. He doesn't have anything. Assets, nothing. That can sustain him beyond the lifestyle that he's living. They have nothing. All of these people, once the source of income where they are looting and getting whatever that they are getting, it's blocked. They lose everything. They don't have anything. Some of them, we see them coming back there.
Yeah, and that we see it every day in the townships. Someone that was balling, maybe was a tenderpreneur, you know, or was working a very much good job, you know, maybe, you know, for some reason, maybe, you know, had a business that was very much successful, and all that, and that this person was balling. Context: this person was balling. This person was spending money. Bekachoma, you know, bekaspina, thenge ilontuza manje, kusasa uthenge enye, you know, those types of people. And then now, after all of that is gone, you know, once that particular job ends, once, you know, once everything perishes, this person was getting injection of money from whatever source, and once that source is closed, he has nothing to show for it. You know, he's back into his back room at home, and yahaulisa, as Mcebo Dlamini says. And that is the unfortunate, you know, black mentality that we see all around us, and it's not a good example.
It's like these ministers, when they are removed from this position, they don't even have a house to sleep. Because the houses they stay is government houses. They're driving government cars. They have nothing, these guys. So we have even failed to take what is good from the Boers, build institutions. You look at now, the Boers have built a university at Centurion, top class. It's here. Entry requirement is Afrikaans. Yeah, it's theirs. In the next 10 years, we will be protesting to take our children there. Yeah. We have failed to build our own institutions. I'm telling you, Macg, the 10 years, you have a daughter.
Yeah.
You will be fighting to take it there because it is the best. It is providing everything that the world needs.
Mcebo Dlamini has spoken right here with Macg. Let me know what you think in the comment section, because yeah, they're color for real. Make sure to like and also subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.